Supreme Court already. In the two cases I have mentioned, the impeachment complaint was filed by at least one-third. And the Supreme Court said that is no exemption.
So
the determination of probable
my question is, can the Supreme Court amend the Constitution?
Well, it's not amending. That is the interpretation.
But how can you interpret it any other way? Ang nakalagay po dito, in case a verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least one-third of all members, the same shall constitute the article of impeachment.
Correct.
Hindi po nakalagay dito, the House shall now have a hearing and determine
wala rin naman
cause.
Nakalagay dyan that there is no necessity of determining probable
nakalagay
cause.
po, Your Honor, and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed.
Yes, but in this jurisprudence it is stated it can be asserted before the lower house. Well, before the house, if it is denied, then you can go to even if the impeachment case already filed. And if it's the impeachment court may act on it, either granting or denying. So it is a reconciliation.
Your Honor, I will not answer that statement about the Supreme Court because I think in our ruling we mentioned about the ruling of Chief Justice Davide in the Estrada trial. But I'll stop there. I thank you for answering those questions. But I'd just like to put that on record that I support the decision of the court, and I don't think there's any other logical interpretation of paragraph 4, which I read. No, I mean, if we're going to interpret it that would require the House to have a hearing, it will be the same as the other paragraph, Your Honor. But anyway, I will let in this because of due process, and we hear both sides. We hear you're not arguing with me, I'm not arguing with you, but I just want to put that on record, Your Honor.
With due respect, Mr. Senator,
yes.
If we follow that dictum, then there never can a time be when impeachable officers may be immune from impeachment proceedings filed by any disgruntled individual. Because all they have to do is gather at least one-third. And there is no more investigation. There is no more probable cause.
But Your Honor,
it's direct to the Senate.
That's precisely.
If we follow that dictum, that will lead to disastrous consequences.
But Your Honor,
the security of tenure provision will definitely be laid to rest, and it may not be invoked by any impeachable
But
public.
just for the information of the court, Your Honor, that is precisely in the records of the debate of the Constitutional Commission. Yun po precisely ang debate nila. Na if you ask for a majority of Congress to impeach a public official, it will be very difficult to impeach a public official. Pag isa, 5, 10 naman, it will be very easy. So ano yung compromise? When one-third affix their signature in a verified complaint or resolution, automatic na, punta na po ito sa impeachment court. At tinanong nga doon, but will that be subject to abuse, etc.? Ang sabi nila, it's not that easy to get one-third. And we cannot assume that the House of Representatives will not act in good faith. So, Your Honor, that's the balancing of accountability and transparency here. If you make it almost impossible, then you give the Supreme Court justices immunity. Ang presidente po, 6 na taon lang siyang immune sa suit. Ang Supreme Court justice, pag 55 years old ka na-appoint, ang sabi po nila sa mga Supreme Court cases, in fairness to them, not only now, matagal na itong mga kaso na to, hindi ka pwede mag-file ng disbarment, hindi ka pwede mag-file ng criminal case. Kailangan impeachment muna bago mo silang kasuhan. Dahil kung hindi, indirectly tinatanggal mo sila. So kung pahihirapan naman natin ng husto kung paano sila i-impeach, maghihintay tayo hanggang 70 years old na sila, hanggang mag-retire at dun mo lang pwedeng kasuhan, wala nang remedyo po ang taong bayan. Ang mamaya, wala nang pupuntahan.
Hindi po.
Your Honor, I was just responding to your thesis that it will be so easy. But I mean, I've been a congressman for 3 terms, and I've been monitoring Congress. I think ilan pa lang po ang na-impeach by this mode.
I think we have.
But thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for this time.
Mr. President, the Senator Drilon.
I think we have sufficiently argued this case. But anyway, the gentleman from Iloilo is recognized.
Mr. President, I'll be very brief. The defense here, Mr. President, is making a plea that they be allowed to present evidence on their affirmative defenses because allegedly the January 18, 2012 ruling did not rule upon the affirmative defenses, but only the motion for a preliminary hearing. Mr. President, the grounds relied upon by the affirmative defenses is precisely the ground relied upon when the defense asked for a preliminary hearing.